In June of 2019, Steve and Ruth Fallin moved to Mexico City, and Restoration House, Mexico was born. It was a response to God's call to follow in the footsteps of Ruth's father and mother, Ford and Beth Wilson, who served as missionaries in Mexico for over 62 years. For the last 2.5 years, Steve and Ruth have been teaching, preaching, and developing training programs in local churches while also teaching classes with Cristo para las Naciones. The intense need for online and in-person classes over the past 18 months has not only brought in students from other states across Mexico, but also online students from Venezuela, Guatemala, Haiti, and countries around the world. Even during a worldwide pandemic, the demand for training in restoration ministries has also increased, and the reach of Restoration House has expanded into new areas of ministry. When the Fallins first met, it was on the campus of Christ for the Nations Institute in Dallas, Texas. They were both young ministry students in 1986, and it quickly became clear that they were called to be together and were both called to the nations of the world for the cause of Christ. After being married in 1987, the Fallins set out on what would become a 34-year ministry journey that included a long and consistent relationship with Christ for the Nations. After spending 2 years studying at Regent University, they joined the teaching staff at Caribbean Christ for the Nations in Jamaica and served there for 8 years. Now, after spending 18 years back in the United States, involved in church ministries and family restoration, Steve and Ruth have been serving in Mexico for the past 2.5 years. Without really planning it that way, Christ for the Nations has once again become a central partner in their work in Mexico. Ford Wilson, Ruth's father, used to say, "Training students for ministry is one of the most effective ways a missionary can bear lasting fruit in a foreign country." It's because the principal role of missionaries is to always build up the skills and roles of national ministers in order to work their way out of a job. The latest development in this long-standing relationship with Christ for the Nations is that Ruth Fallin has been asked to take over the directorship of 2 Bible schools in the state of Oaxaca. Oaxaca happens to be the state in Mexico where Ruth was born. The previous director of those 2 schools went to meet his reward with God back in January of this year. It was a sad time for Christ for the Nations in Mexico, but the schools need to be rebuilt. The Bible school students were without a director for many months, and the Lord began to speak to our general director in Mexico at the same time that the Fallins were hearing God's call to Oaxaca to take over that leadership. Over the last few months, an entirely new area of ministry has also opened up for the Fallins. In January 2022, while Ruth will be taking over the Bible schools in Oaxaca, Steve will finally get to start formal Spanish language studies at Roca Blanca Mission Base on the Oaxaca coast. Roca Blanca is a well-known missions training center that not only trains missionaries in Spanish, but also has helped train thousands in the skills they need to reach the indigenous Indian tribes of Oaxaca. This will be a unique opportunity for Steve to get trained in Spanish while at the same time gaining outreach experience in reaching the 16 tribal groups of southern Mexico. During the 7 months that Steve will be in and out of Roca Blanca for language training, he will gain invaluable insights into what it takes to minister to the people of rural Mexico. The year of 2022 is destined to be a season of great expansion of ministry in Mexico. God is opening new doors and presenting new challenges for going even further with His kingdom work. As always, we want to express our special thanks to those who have prayed for this work and those who have sown seeds of partnership with Restoration House by giving financial support. It is an honor to have this opportunity to share with you some of the vision of Restoration House Mexico.